You are listening to Keep Canada Weird, a weekly weird news roundup by the Nighttime Podcast.
Handsome Aaron Airport. It's almost Christmas, buddy. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too, my friend.
This is our December 20th episode, so although we didn't plan it or talk about it in advance, this is our Christmas special tonight.
Is tonight our Christmas special?
It'll have to be, because the next episode after this will be like our Boxing Day special.
Are we going to record on Boxing Day, or are we going to...
Let's talk about that offline.
You're right. That's way too inside baseball for us to be talking about live on air.
Let's talk about something of more universal interest. We're going to talk quickly about our special drinks and jump right into the updates. I'll reveal mine right now. I am drinking a Mountain Dew Blue. What is that? I don't know, but I know Mountain Dew is loaded with caffeine. Since we record at night, it's good for me to get a little pick-me-up. I've had a busy night. I was at Walmart and Costco tonight. And this time of year, those places are like war zones.
Oh, yeah, it is. You're going right into the line of fire there. I congratulate you, and I respect you.
Thank you.
I'm a little... We keep things positive here. I am a little upset that you revealed your special drink ahead of time on social media before we recorded, and I saw it, so it wasn't a surprise for me.
Damn it.
And I just want you to know that I look forward to the reveals of the special drinks live on air so I can react organically, naturally to the reveal of the special drink. And I just would ask that you, going forward, respect that wish of mine and apologize, please, profusely.
I'm sorry. Here's the thing is, you're not typically on social media. So when I made an Instagram post teasing tonight's special drink, you were the last person that I thought would see it. I know now I'll do better in 2025.
Yeah, and I think the listeners also probably want it to be revealed when they listen to the episode. You know, it gives them something to really keep them on the edge of their seat. It's like a cliffhanger when you're watching your favorite series.
Yeah, what's going to happen
or something?
Yeah,
what's the special drink going to be?
Speaking of that, you got one over there?
I got one. Yeah, I got one.
Lay it on me.
I went festive with my special drink tonight. I have with me in a glass holiday nog.
Well, is there a difference between holiday nog and eggnog?
I don't know if there is a difference. I will taste it and tell you if it tastes any different from eggnog. And
as a kid, I used to love eggnog. I haven't had it in years. Take a drink and let me know about this.
It's been years for me too, because it's quite a heavy, rich drink that, as an adult, I don't partake in very often anymore.
Well, get into it. Jump in. Take a drink.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Yeah. Looks like you're drinking pure, like, whipped eggs, yolk and all.
Yeah, just like Rocky when he was training for his big fight.
How is it?
It tastes like eggnog.
Okay.
But they call it specifically holiday nog, and I did look at the ingredients, and I did not see the word egg anywhere. So
okay, maybe that's I'm just wondering, is holiday nog like a marketing thing, or is there?
Or is it we're legally not allowed to call it eggnog anymore because there are no eggs in it?
Yeah. We got to get into the discussion though. Before we get into the weird news stories that played out across Canada over the last week, we have a whole bunch of updates as well. Should I just jump in and start rattling off updates? Do you want to hear a voicemail? How do you want to start this?
Let's go start with a voicemail. That's usually how we like to do it here.
Well, this is a positive update. This is a positive voicemail, and it'll clear the air a bit. Remember last week we heard from Cindy, a listener who seeked you out online, saw photos of you, and seemed a little disappointed by what she saw. I suggested maybe average Aaron Airport. Cindy heard that episode, and I think we got it all wrong. It was a misunderstanding. Here's what she has to say.
Okay, yeah.
Hi, Jordan and Aaron. This is Cindy again. I was not imagining in my mind that Aaron was like a Fabio or Adonis or something like that. I actually was imagining that he was like a Canadian lumberjack kind of like big grizzly guy. So that is what I was imagining in my head, and I should have added that detail whenever I was speaking earlier in the voice message. He is handsome. I just wanted to clarify that. And I did not mean it to be in any way insulting, but it kind of sounded like that when I listened to the voicemail. So I apologize for that.
So it's not that she didn't think you were handsome. It's clear in that voicemail that she just sent us. She does think you're handsome. You're just a different kind of handsome than she was expecting. She was thinking lumberjack, not, I don't know.
She was thinking strong, burly, chiseled, good with his hands, productive. I really want her to see me in a plaid shirt because I do wear plaid a lot, although I'm not tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But in my closet, I do have a number of plaid shirts, and I would like to put one on for her and then see what she thinks. Do I look more like a Canadian woodsman with my plaid shirt on?
Maybe you just need to get a more like traditional hunk headshot kind of thing and problem solved.
And I have a lot of chest hair. I could expose that. Like I could leave the first few buttons undone on the plaid shirt.
Yeah.
Exposing my locks of dark, coarse chest hair.
All right, let's get moving.
Is there a problem?
No, it's all good. We got to get into it here. We're here to talk about the week in weird, wonderful, and offbeat Canadian news. And there's a whole bunch of great stuff to get into tonight. That's why I cracked open the Mountain Dew Blue. I needed a little extra energy to do it. I want to start with one of my favorite stories that I've heard in a long time. I just hope this one's able to come across in audio only, because the video of this is actually amazing. But I think the audio is great too. I'll set it up this way. It's a story of an impatient dog, but here's what happens is Adam Carrier and his mom made a quick stop at a Nelson, British Columbia shopping mall. They didn't expect to be in long. So they didn't expect to be in the mall long. So Adam left his dog, Krista, to wait in the car, with the window down a crack, of course. It wasn't until after the visit in the mall, until they got back home, that they realized that while they were inside shopping, Krista was outside. Krista, the dog, was outside becoming a star. This is the story of Krista, the impatient bulldog.
She's such a hilarious character. Me and my mom went to the mall because we just got Dollarama in the mall, so we went and checked it out. We came back, and she was just sitting in the driver's seat like she always does. When I got home, I got a text from a friend. He sent me a link, and it was just her standing there, or sitting there with her paw out, just kind of not even knowing what she's doing, kind of eyebrows raising, looking around, like wondering why everybody's staring at her. There's a lot of people in the parking lot, and they're like concerned, like, what is that noise? I could just hear people laughing in the video and stuff like that. We absolutely loved it, just watching it over and over. I had to tell my mom to turn the volume down. It was just me constantly, and her laughing. She has no clue she's famous. She just sits there as clueless as when she was putting her paw on the horn. She's just like, wow, everybody loves me today. It's just like yesterday.
Just sitting there, patiently waiting. Now passers-by say Crystal was honking for about 10 minutes straight, which surprised her owners, who say she's accidentally hit the horn before, but it usually startles her and she backs off. But clearly, fear no more.
The audio doesn't really explain what's happening. Describe that video, Aaron, for people who haven't seen it.
Well, the dog is sitting in the driver's seat and has their paw pressed up against the horn and is just holding in on the car horn and not letting go. And it's just a constant, steady stream. And the dog is just staring almost like straight ahead with this look on its face. Like,
it's just impatience. She's like, come on.
Like, hurry up. Like, get me home, feed me, cuddle me. This is ridiculous. Yes, you cracked the window, but I'm bored.
It's and the video was filmed not by Adam, the owner, or anything. Like, people heard this honking while Adam and his mom is in the mall. They go walking over to see what's going on, and they find just a dog sitting in a car with its paws on the horn. So a crowd gathers and films it, and they're laughing. After 10, 15 minutes or so, the dog stops honking, so they walk off. Someone posts a video to the internet, and it begins being spread around. And it's not until later that evening that Adam finds out that this is what his dog was up to. I think it's a great story. I love it. And I love the image of the dog sitting there impatiently.
The image is great. For anyone listening, you should go and track down the news footage of this incident with the dog and the car
Yeah, the
horn and watch it because it is adorable. And normally horns are misused quite often. I find the thing that's the most annoying about horns is people use it for greeting more than they do for auto emergencies, which is what it's
oh, like the
designed
quick like
for.
yeah,
Like,
it's like
hey, how you
beep beep,
doing? You know, beep
like beep
beep,
beep.
what's going on? You know,
Mm,
not what they were designed for. You know, designed for warning somebody that you're approaching in a vehicle or whatever. So I always hate when somebody honks a horn at somebody else in a friendly way, and you think something's wrong.
yeah, like what I do, you prick.
What did I do? What's
You
going on?
give
You're
him the
looking around.
finger.
Yeah, yeah. And you get upset, and it's just somebody honking the horn at their friend.
Mm,
But this honk is, yeah, it's adorable. It's fun. It's a dog. You can't hate a dog. Dogs are
mm-mm.
great.
So, and
And
dogs in cars are always funny. When I'm walking and I see a dog like just sitting in the car, you know,
we don't
they
often
always
see them
just
sitting right in the front seat. This is right in the front seat on the driver's side at the wheel, paw up on the horn. It's pretty perfect.
me. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. We're going to take a quick break here. When we get back, we have 3 stories of Canadians behaving badly. Well, I suppose we'll decide if they're behaving badly because there is going to be a bit of gray in some of these stories. Let's come right back to it. Aaron, you play the lotto, right? Do you buy lotto tickets?
No, no. In fact,
Scratch tickets?
I get really angry at people who buy lotto tickets in front of me in a convenience store.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's different. I hate that too. Or when they
Oh, it's
check
the
them and
worst.
all that
Yeah,
stuff.
they're
It's-
checking them and then I'll take this ticket with this 800 things on it and then I'm going to get one of those with 700 of these things on it. It's just and then you're just like, I just want to pay for my gas and get the hell out of here. But
Yeah, I get it. We got a lotto story. We've covered lottery wins a couple times in the past. This one, though, you're really going to need to listen carefully because there's a story within a story in the story of this lotto win. So let me set it up for you this way. A 60-year-old man in Montreal's ordinary workday turned extraordinary after he checked his Lotto Max ticket and discovered that he had won a staggering $40 million. Now, I enjoy covering Canadian lotto wins, and as I said, if you listen carefully to Global News' coverage of this win, we're going to find a lot to talk about. This is the story of the maybe not so generous lottery winner.
Jean Lamontagne is Quebec's newest millionaire. He bought one of 2 winning tickets of an $80 million Lotto Max draw a week ago. He gets to pocket half.
I feel very good.
The other winner was announced in Alberta last week. Lamontagne, 60, says he found out about the win online while he was at work. He couldn't believe his eyes and showed a friend.
Tu vois-tu ce que je vois? Il dit, ben Jean, t'as gagné, là.
He says the friend reassured him that he'd won. In the following days, Lamontagne bought his colleagues pizza and decided to retire. He plans to invest part of the winnings in real estate and purchase multiplexes for his kids. Apart from that, he insists nothing much will change in his life. Lotto Quebec points out that suddenly coming into a lot of cash can be overwhelming. So whenever a client wins a large sum, that person is accompanied throughout the process.
The first thing is to make sure you have a good appointment with your bank and to secure the money and then we give them pieces of advice about how to react, how to inform your family, your friends.
So that they can enjoy their winnings with peace of mind.
Did you catch it?
are you talking about the pizza thing?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's ludicrous.
So he wins the lotto. He wins $40 million. He promptly quit. They don't say quits his job. They say
He
retires.
retires.
But basically, he wins $40 million, quits his job, and as a parting gesture, he bought some pizzas for the people at work.
Yeah, it's a pretty lowball farewell, isn't it, for someone who just won $40 million?
I just kind of think it's like if your coworker wins $40 million and quits their job, I would rather them buy nothing than leave us with a pizza.
It's insulting, is what it is.
Do you
it's
think?
like this is, even though I have $40 million, all you're worth to me is Domino's.
Yeah, $60 I'll spend here, and you'll never see me again.
Yeah, $200 tops is what he spent on his coworkers, who he probably worked alongside for years and years and years. And this guy buys them some pizza. Like, that's what head office does for you. When it's like, oh yeah, we're not going to give you a Christmas bonus this year, inflation, times are tough, blah, blah, blah. But here's some pizza.
Yeah, we're going to have a pizza party in the office.
2 slices each at the most, everybody.
In an office, in a corporate world, like, a pizza party is synonymous with, like, disappointment.
It's just the least that you can do. It's literally like every other week is a pizza day.
Yeah.
They're just like, this guy's going off to enjoy the rest of his life with his millions of dollars, and he's leaving us here with stale pizza, probably.
So this segment of the show is on Canadians potentially behaving badly. Do you think his name is Jean? Do you think Jean behaved badly in this case?
Yeah, I do. I think Jean dropped the ball on this pizza party. I mean, I love pizza. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's my favorite food. I love it, next to warm eggnog that I'm enjoying right now. But yeah, pizza's great, but in when it's appropriate.
Let's get to the next one. So we just talked about the maybe not so generous multi-millionaire in Quebec. Let's stay in Quebec. Let's hear about somebody who cannot handle snow removal in Montreal. Now, it's pretty early in the year for snowplow and snow removal madness, but that didn't stop a 39-year-old man in Montreal. A dispute between the man and the people tasked with enforcing parking rules so that the snowplows could move through the city may end up resulting in a lengthy prison sentence for the man. Here's the story of some snow clearing madness in Montreal. And it is too early for this. It is. It's like we're recording this on December 18th. We've only had flurries here, and this madness that we're about to hear about is what's going on in Montreal already.
Right,
it's going to be a long winter. Here it comes.
Snow removal operations in full swing were abruptly interrupted Tuesday night when a resident of this East End apartment building allegedly pulled a gun and opened fire on a city crew.
I called 911 to report a gunshot, at least one gunshot that happened.
According to police, a conflict between a tow truck driver, a city parking employee, and a 39-year-old man escalated, turning violent. The dispute was over the towing of a car parked on Forsyth Street.
It was first of all at his apartment. He came outside, and as with the preliminary version that we have, he fired at the people, but nobody was injured.
The 19-year-old employee was treated for shock. Police quickly arrested the suspect and seized his weapon, a rifle.
It is scary because you don't know what's going to happen if you get that person mad.
According to police, the suspect has no known history of violence. He faces several charges, including armed assault and discharging a firearm.
I know that I had to move my car because the plow was going to pass here during the next couple of days, so he should have moved his car. I'm sorry, but he should have moved his car. Now, if he goes to jail, well...
The suspect could face a significant time behind bars if found guilty, with a minimum prison sentence of up to 15 years.
So let's recap what happened in that story. What describe it to me. What just went down?
So when you live in a snowy climate, as many people in Canada do, you have to be very aware of the fact of where you're parking in the wintertime. Because if you park on the street when it is snowing out, the plows aren't able to properly plow the street because you are parked on it. So there are parking bans in effect to prevent people from parking on the street during certain times of the year, when it is snowing, when there are expected storms, all of these things. So this individual obviously was parked when they weren't supposed to, where they weren't supposed to be, because of a winter parking ban, and were getting towed for that offense.
And they noticed the towing, and it sounds like they just charged out of their apartment or house or whatever. with a rifle.
Yeah,
Fired shot.
right from 0 to 10.
Yeah, they called it, he pulled, in the article or in that news clip we heard, they said he pulled a gun. But when I think of pull a gun, I think like you take one out, like a handgun or something. I don't know. Can you pull a rifle? I feel like that would, you are just
You
the
could
whole
pull it out of
time
your
you have
back, almost like if you're shooting a bow and
Terminator or
arrow.
something.
Yeah,
Like
you pull it out of your back and cock it, and then
that's a shotgun. A rifle, it's
this
like
is
the
a
big
rifle.
long.
Okay, yeah, you could pull a rifle.
You pull it out of its case.
Out of its case. You could pull a rifle. I think actually you could still pull it out of your back if it's tied to your back.
Like an action hero. I don't think, I have a problem with the term pulled. I think he came out holding it and then pointed it and shot it, which is completely insane. Like they say, the police said that this guy doesn't have any known history of violence. I guarantee the guy who came out of his house with a rifle because his car was getting towed has a history of violence. If you ask a couple of this guy's friends, they're going to say like that guy is a nut.
Someone who so quickly goes to the gun as the first option. And apparently the only option that they're going to take to solve this dispute. And that person, that's not their first rodeo. That's their go-to. It's just the first time that they got caught doing it. Yeah,
exactly. And the worker who he fired at is a 19-year-old, like just a kid. This guy has to take time off of work from the shock of being shot at. Like, man, I would not want to be working with the public. I watch enough videos on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff of just chaos happening at fast food joints or at Walmarts or anything. Nowadays, if you work with the public, you must, I don't know, man. I'd want to wear a helmet and full body armor to work almost anywhere where I'm that close to people, let alone in the middle of the night in Montreal, towing their cars.
I mean, parking is frustrating. I will give that to the guy. It's very frustrating when you have nowhere to park and the street is your only option. And then it's snowing. There's a winter parking ban. You're getting towed. You feel like you've been left with no other options. I don't ever recommend pulling a shotgun on somebody and firing, but this person obviously has probably been dealing with where to park for a lot longer than we've been talking about this story.
You're so empathetic and understanding of his plight. This guy may potentially do up to 10 years in prison.
They said 15 years in the story. Minimum of 15 years that this charge could bring. And do you find that a little heavy?
I'm pretty
sympathize with this person.
Like, but whose side are you on here?
I'm not, you know what? I wasn't there. I'm not taking a side, but I'm just imagining if I shot at somebody in a crime of passion, like I would consider this to be, I would be expecting a much lighter.
This is the weirdest,
I would
Aaron.
be expecting a much lighter sentence because I would say, Judge, I would never have shot at them had I known 15 years, really? I thought maybe I'd do 6 months. What do you think?
You know what?
Before you saw this story, if you had to guess, now you didn't kill anybody, but you did shoot at them. So there's obviously, you could argue an intent to murder somebody.
And they said, like, it doesn't sound like this guy has a criminal record.
Right, yeah.
Or at least a serious one.
Other than this crime of passion, as I'm calling it, this individual is squeaky clean, as they legally say.
I'm just going to play it for a second, because did they say the minimum is 15 or maximum?
I think I heard minimum, but play it again.
Okay.
I know that I had to move my car because the plow was going to pass here during the next couple of days, so he should have moved this car. I'm sorry, but he should have moved this car. Now, if he goes to jail, well...
The suspect could face a significant time behind bars if found guilty, with a minimum prison sentence of up to 15 years.
Ooh.
Minimum of up to 15 years.
What always ends up happening is they kind of massage the charges. We'll charge you with everything we can possibly justify. But if you'll admit to, I don't know, uttering threats, we'll settle on that.
But I would just like to know the parking history of the area. Because I do know some people who live in apartments.
Yeah.
And the street is their only option.
Yeah, what do you do with your car if you park on the street and they ban parking on the street for the weekend because of a snowstorm? Like I've had friends who will take their car to like a Walmart parking lot and just park it there and be like, I'm just going to leave it there for 2 days and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's problematic. It's complicated.
Let's move on to the next story though. But before we do, this segment is, are these Canadians behaving badly? I think this is a no-brainer, right?
He was naughty. Yeah, he was on the naughty side on this one.
This one is, I don't have the next story. I'm just going to read it to you because it's very short. It comes from just a court decision, a sentencing decision related to a man who was charged in a series of vandalism cases in Vancouver. I'll read it to you here. A Vancouver provincial court judge has imposed an unusual condition on a 38-year-old man, Daniel Ferguson. After pleading guilty to 3 mischief charges related to smashing windows at transit stations, Ferguson was given 12 months of probation, during which time he would be banned from possessing rocks and bricks on BC Transit property.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
You got to do something nuts to leave a courtroom being banned from possessing rocks or bricks.
Yeah, this is pretty nuts. It sounds like what he did. Smashing windows at transit stations. I put that on the nuts category.
Yeah, but it solves the problem. But I guess it just seems like a weird step because there's other ways you could break windows. Like, was it specifically?
Imagine in the trial, and the perpetrator is saying, "Listen," or the lawyer is saying, my client outside of when they're at transit property, they can't help themselves but smash windows with rocks and bricks. Outside of that addiction that my client has, they are an outstanding citizen. They volunteer, a family person, great grades at school, wonderful job, but just has this affliction where they desire and cannot say no to smashing transit property with bricks and rocks. So
specifically,
yes, very specifically. So the judge, in all their wisdom, brought down a very specific sentence for this person. No more rocks and bricks, only on transit property. You can still work at the rocks and bricks factory that you work in, producing rocks and bricks, but you cannot bring those rocks and bricks to the transit property. But outside of that, you can use all the rocks and bricks you want.
Never been an issue outside of while on transit property.
No, never. They've been in all different types of properties in their lives and never smashed anything with their rocks and bricks. It's something about transit property that really sets them off.
Behaving badly, as you just put it, you think it's probably not so much as poor behavior as it is some kind of deep-rooted need for this man to commit these kinds of mischief crimes while on that property. It's something beyond impulse. It's something almost
they're a rock
paranormal.
Brick transit property aholic.
Mm-hmm. He's an addict. He needs help. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's take a quick ad break. When we get back, we have our final 2 stories, and it's going to get a little controversial here because we're about to talk about what some people believe to be a war on Christmas after this break. Now, it's been no secret that it's often me who puts together the news stories that we're going to be discussing. But every so often, you put something out there that a direction you want to take the show. Like for one, you encourage listeners to send hate mail against me, and that kind of blew up in your face, right? A little bit.
Blew up in my face? No, my face is still intact. It's not as rugged, not as woodsman-like as some people would prefer it to be. But yeah, my face is fine.
Okay. Well, last week, something you called out to the audience for, to the members of the Keep Canada Weird Army, is you wanted to hear stories about tires.
Yeah,
You remember saying that?
I do. I remember it clearly. I've been waiting on the edge of my seat, excited about tires.
Okay, I kind of considered like being like, no, we can't, we shouldn't go there, Aaron. It won't be interesting. But I was like, no, I'll let him have it. We put it out there. We do have a tire story for you.
Yeah, well.
You ready?
Yeah, I've been ready my whole life. Let's hear it.
Let's hear a tire story, and maybe after we listen, you can decide if you want to continue to solicit tire stories.
Well, I already know the answer.
Hi there, this is Maria from Ontario. This is a tire story. When I first came to Canada, I didn't have a license, and I went on a date, and the guy picked me up in his car. And a little while in, while we were driving, we got a flat, and he did not know how to change it, so I had to show him how to. Thought that was a pretty funny little story. Anyways, love your show. Keep Canada weird. Bye.
Are you happy now?
Yeah, I love that tire story. He didn't know how to change a tire. That's a little embarrassing on a first date. And
the stereotypical role, the female wouldn't be the one to get out and be like, let me show you how to swap that tire.
Yeah, I love that she got out and schooled the guy and said, I'll change the tire, you complete loser.
I wonder if it was the last date. Because I guess like maybe tire stories are good because they open the door for other types of stories that are traditionally more interesting than tire stories.
You really underestimate and underappreciate tires. And I find that now this is a positive show. We keep things positive here. So I'm not gonna go down that road. But
how about just prove me wrong? If you have a fascinating tire story, you, the listener out there in the world, if you have a fascinating tire story that will make Aaron's day and maybe change my opinion on if the show should regularly feature tire stories, let me hear it.
Yeah.
Blow my mind.
The people do. This is only the tip of the iceberg in the tire stories. There are people are, I guess it's taboo to talk about tires at the dinner table, on podcasts, in therapy sessions. People are maybe embarrassed about it, but we're bringing tires back to the forefront. We're taking tires and we're making them cool again. That's what we're doing.
You're trying.
This is groundbreaking, pioneering stuff that we're getting involved in, and I hope you're ready for it. Put your seatbelt on. And the tires are going to be squealing as we ride off into Tire Land and enjoy so many delicious tire stories. You just wait. The listeners will not let me down. Okay.
Well, let's move on to another topic that maybe isn't traditionally exciting. We're going to be talking about Microsoft Excel. I bet you do it like accounting type work. You must use Excel at work, right?
I use Excel every day. I love Excel. Excel has saved my life on many occasions. And in fact, I would love listeners to call in with voicemails about spreadsheets,
data,
and
numbers.
Tires at the same time.
Well, Aaron, you probably use Excel a lot, as you said, every day, but you are not, I'm willing to bet, as good and proficient as Toronto's Michael Jarman. He was recently named the world champion of Excel after winning an international competition that I had no idea even existed. Here's the story of Toronto's Excel world champion.
In the moment of victory, Michael Jarman leaps from his chair.
Michael Jarman! Look at that! Takes the win!
Unseating the previous 3-time winner, he takes the top prize at the Microsoft Excel World Championship in Las Vegas. That's right, World Champion of Excel, the spreadsheet program which organizes and calculates data.
Yeah, it's nice to sort of finally dethrone him. And I very much have wanted to win this for a while, so it feels great.
Jarman is British and moved to Toronto in 2017 with his company doing financial modeling for infrastructure projects, then met his fiancée. The competition is a set of unique problem-solving tasks in Excel, which ramp up in complexity and involves getting the answer as quickly as possible. Jarman says the number of people watching the Excel World Championship is growing, and more people love puzzles than you might think. He points to all those who love a daily Sudoku or Wordle.
Microsoft reckon 1 billion people now use Excel. And I think, when people sort of go to watch sports, there's very few sports that 1 billion people actively play, right? So I think there is something that a lot of people can get from it.
Now it's just a matter of deciding what to do with his winnings, a $5,000 US check, and this large belt.
So I've honestly had more plans for the belt, which I think we're mounting on the wall somewhere. We're trying to figure out how to do that. Honestly, I've had more thought what to do with that because it's like I don't have a belt before.
Where do we begin with this?
I really hope with his winnings, he got his coworkers a pizza party.
With this 5,000? Yeah, you know what? This guy probably will.
He does not, we were talking about the 15 years being too high of a possible sentence for shooting at somebody, but is $5,000 way too low for the Excel World Championships prize money? That seems incredibly low to me.
It does. And if you think of the market of people, like the type of people who are like geniuses at Excel and like math stuff, it's probably a bunch of like, engineer types. I bet you a lot of people that were in the Excel World Championships had some pretty good, had some money. Like this isn't a bunch of like broke people up there. So a $5,000 prize at like a math competition it does seem really low. But maybe that's why, like he says, I care a lot more about that belt and what I'm going to do about it, or what I'm going to do with it. If you see the news clip, the belt he wins is kind of looks like what a wrestler or a boxer would wear or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that's what he cares. That's what he cares about.
Of course,
if you're the best in the world at something that, like what I think he said, like Microsoft reckons 1 billion people use it every day. Billions of people use Excel. If you're the best at it, yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It's impressive. Excel is an endless tool that seemingly, goes on forever with what you're able to do with it. And there's so much to master in Excel, and it gets quite complicated. And yeah, I can't imagine the skill level that these competitors are at being at the World Championships.
It's cool that they thought to make a championship of it, though. It's in Vegas, and I bet you, like when you're in Vegas, there's a billion crazy things that they have going on.
Again,
championships
being in
and
Vegas,
hot dogs. And,
being in Vegas, $5,000 is all you win with this thing. Like it's in Vegas, it's World Championships. You would think Microsoft would chip in 10 grand. Just to like bump it up to 15 or something. Like, my God.
Maybe even that amount would be embarrassing though. And they're like, we don't want our name on this $5,000 reward or whatever. Yeah, it does seem low. When I first watched the news story, that didn't really stand out to me. But now that you say it, I'm upset.
Yeah, I'm bothered by it. I think it's an injustice to the hard work and skill that these competitors are bringing to the table for these championships. And I think the organizers should really look for some sponsorships for this competition.
But I am glad it's a Canadian who brought it home, and the Microsoft Excel belt is safely hung on a wall somewhere in Toronto. But that's enough of this story. We got to get into, I think it's a little bit of a controversial one because there's, this is our Christmas special, as I said at the beginning. This episode will be released on the 20th of December. A lot of people will probably be listening to this during their Christmas or holiday vacation. If you look online, there's a lot of discussion around the way that holiday is celebrated. In fact, here in Nova Scotia, there was this kind of viral misinformation campaign where people were posting on Facebook that a certain grocery store chain was not playing Christmas music this year. And that led to like this big online movement of people mad that they weren't playing Christmas music. They were planning to boycott. Then it turned out like the grocery store released a statement being like, yeah, that's like none of that's true. That someone just made it up and people are talking about it online. It was just like utter nonsense. But people are very sensitive about like the censorship around Christmas in the name of inclusivity. It pops its head up in a whole bunch of different ways, but we have a story tonight that I think is we'll have a lot to say about it. So there's an interesting story coming out of Saanich, BC. It's an elementary school that recently had their holiday concert, and the whole situation is taking center stage for all the wrong reasons. One parent has gone public with their concern after their child's performance included a Christmas song that had been rewritten to remove references to Santa as well as Rudolph. I'll play the news story and then we'll talk about this one.
With school holiday concerts happening this week, it's time for this Saanich student to memorize these song lyrics.
On the lyrics, it had like a black line going through the words that said Santa, Christmas, and Rudolph.
Marie Garvin says her son is in grade 4 and was told the lyrics were changed to be inclusive.
I'm in full support of all inclusion and diversity, and it just felt like we were erasing Christmas.
She argues the man in red and his trusty steed aren't exactly religious icons.
I just don't want to offend anyone, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm, pushing Christmas down people's throats and not acknowledging anyone else.
She says all cultures in a classroom are worth celebrating.
We want to be part of the community and learn about other traditions and holidays. So why can't we learn about a few and sing a song from these?
The Saanich School District Superintendent says there is no directive to ban certain words.
We're not canceling Santa or Rudolph in our schools. I can't speak as to why the teacher changed that particular lyric. That would be something for the teacher to have a conversation with the parent about directly.
Dave Eberwin says the district is a secular organization. An inclusion consultant sees where both parties are coming from.
Well, the intention was good. The impact is that a family in this case, but probably other families, are feeling like Christmas is being canceled.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing. Of all, like, I would get it if it was like one of those like old school, like Jesus and Mary and the manger, like all these kind of elements. Maybe not, just don't do that song, I guess. But if it's a song about like Rudolph and Santa, what the heck, man? That's gone too far.
It's weird. It's because that part of the holiday, like, Santa and Rudolph and all these things. Yeah, it's become so not religious anymore. Like people,
it's a whole different thing. Yeah.
It's become its own beast. Like it's not about Jesus anymore. It's about kids getting time off from school and getting gifts.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like the Christmas holiday has been completely overtaken by like the capitalist kind of Walmarts of the world. It's a whole different thing. But aside from that, when a school has these like holiday concerts, is generally what it'll be referred to, because it's not just a celebration of Christmas, it's a celebration of all the holidays that happen this time of year. The right way to be inclusive is to include everybody, all the different, religions and beliefs, mash it all up and have a holiday concert. So everyone's represented, and you'll have some Christians singing, Hanukkah songs or something. You'll have some Jews singing Christmas songs, and everyone in the school is celebrating all the holidays. But to like have the songs performed, but censored to remove I wouldn't agree even if it was removing like Jesus's name, but to censor to remove like Rudolph's name and Santa Claus's name, that's only a step away from removing like eggnog because it's so closely associated with Christmas. I think whatever this teacher did, whether it was the classroom teacher or the music teacher, whoever came up with this idea to rewrite whatever song it was like maybe they had some good intentions, but man, that just flopped.
There's always that person that goes too far with these initiatives to be inclusive, where they then push away everybody as opposed to bringing everybody in. And that's kind of what this teacher did by following their own initiative to censor this song, essentially.
Yeah. But what about this? Here's another thing to consider. And this is something I thought was weird, is people were given the lyrics on a sheet. So they were provided a lyric sheet. But the way it worked is you would see the original lyrics. So it would say, blah, blah, Rudolph, blah, blah. But there was a line drawn through Rudolph with other words written below it that you would sing instead. So it was almost, why would you do that? Like, as you were writing that and passing it out, you must have been like, okay, this is crazy what I'm doing here.
I'm going to win a Nobel Prize for this, is what she was thinking.
This is the most inclusive anyone has ever been.
I'm changing the world.
Yeah, man, that's humiliating. Yeah, well, that one story is our Christmas content for the year. Although when we come back, our next episode will be the 27th, maybe delayed by a day or two. We'll argue about
see
that
how
offline.
how it shakes out over that period of time.
More Christmas and holiday stuff will work its way in. The country has a week to be weird in connection with Christmas if they want to get spotlit on this show.
But I drank holiday nog throughout this episode, so I think that has us totally covered for our holiday content.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I didn't prepare you for this, so I'm just going to put you on the spot. I got you a little Christmas present, and and it's an audio present.
Okay, great.
And it's going to be a great way to end the show because it's a very positive present. And I didn't work alone on it. It was actually me and a listener who put this together for you. Actually, I had nothing to do with it. Audrey, a listener of the show, sent us the nicest voice message we've received in a long time. And it's on my phone, so I will play it to you as my gift to you. But really, it's a gift from Audrey.
Okay.
Here it comes.
Hey, Jordan, Aaron, this is Audrey from the United States. I'm calling because you want to know what our favorite stories are of the year, and I have to admit that it, too, is hard to pick just one, but one that definitely stands out is the weight limit on the water slide. I mean, if they really need to have a scale, maybe have one at the bottom so you don't have to make the trek up and down the stairs.
Good idea.
But I absolutely love hearing about your both love for Robin's Donuts and dislike for Tim Hortons. And I love hearing about your special drinks of the night. It's always interesting to hear what they are. And I love hearing you talk about all the different topics and craziness of Canada, and not just stuff that you would hear on the evening news, but also the weird and quirky and funny stuff. But I want to also say, don't worry about what people say about your name, your nickname, or looks. I know. I need to take my own advice, but you both are handsome, sweet, kind, wonderful guys, and have a great podcast, and that I'm glad I came upon. So I hope both of you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Isn't that nice?
That is nice. Although this is a positive show, I don't want to put a negative spin on this.
How could you put a negative spin on that? Like, I'm tearing up at how thoughtful and nice that was.
I'm just going to point something out. I first want to say thank you, Audrey, for that lovely, lovely voicemail. It was lovely to hear. I very much appreciated it. But Jordan, you led into this voicemail by saying that this was a gift for me. But the voicemail praises both of us. And I feel like it was kind of a gift for you from yourself, for you playing that voicemail.
Well, here's the thing is I had already heard it and like had that experience of like feeling good and encouraged to continue the show for the next million years. So the gift that voicemail gave me, I actually received earlier today. but right now I played it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like me giving you a gift, although Audrey made the gift and it's coming from her. But if it wasn't for my phone,
Your phone, yes, okay.
wouldn't have been able to hear it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay.
So
All right. I accept that. I accept that.
Okay. Good. Wow. I should be a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you could get our illegal parking friend down to 6 months and a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. Aaron, I do hope you have a Merry Christmas. And I hope to spend it with you. I'm going to come visit, okay?
Oh, are you?
If weather permitting, yeah.
Weather permitting, yeah. Okay, great. I look forward to that. Maybe you and me and Randy could get together and
yeah, we can boycott whatever business he has a problem with next together.
I would love to do that. And I'll bring some holiday nog over.
Okay, good. Well, I think we've done our work here. We've celebrated the week in weird news stories. I think we covered all of our bases. I'm done my special drink. I saw you with an empty glass of holiday nog there. So there's only one last thing to do. Handsome Aaron Airport, until next time.
Jordan, bust up, Bonaparte. Until next time.
So during the dog in a car story, I don't think I was clear enough that I'm not crazy about leaving dogs in cars, because in the summer it's so awful to leave a pet in the car unless you got the car on and the air conditioning up. When I was celebrating the dog in the car, and when I mentioned I like seeing dogs in cars, it's when it's safe for the dogs.
Okay, that's yours. Okay, all right. Well, Jordan, until next time, I would just like to wish you and your family happy holidays. And at times I do give you a hard time over the kind of rules and regulations around special drinks and how you reveal them. But I just don't want you to take that personally. That's strictly business. It's not personal.
I love you too, Aaron.
Goodbye.
I want to thank you for helping Aaron and I fulfill our mission to keep Canada weird. If you've got a news story from your area that you'd like to share with us, or have any thoughts or theories or opinions on anything we discussed tonight, we'd love to hear from you. You can contact us by using the voice recorder that can be found at nighttimepodcast.com/contact. And on that topic, I want to give a big thank you to this episode's correspondents. If your voice message was aired tonight, you could email me your address. My email is nighttimepodcast@gmail.com, and I'll get a Keep Canada Weird badge and swag pack sent out to you. I just ask that you wear the badge proudly and responsibly. Next, a big thanks goes out to Aaron for another great night, Unicole for the intro and outro voiceovers, and Monty Data for the outro version of O Canada. And then, of course, a sincere and massive thank you goes out to each and every one of you listening. Your support makes this show possible. And if you'd like to support the show even more, please consider a subscription to the premium feed, which can be found at nighttimepodcast.com/subscribe. The premium feed costs just a couple dollars a month, but that money will fund the creation of new episodes of the show, and it'll give you those episodes 2 days early, ad-free, and access to a back catalog of episodes. And even if you don't want to go premium, you can still support the show by sharing this episode on social media. That helps a lot too, and it's free. Your support is very much appreciated. So with all that said, until next time, take care of each other, hug your loved ones tight, and together, let's keep Canada weird.
Keep Canada Weird is written, hosted, and produced by the Nighttime Podcast.